Critter Farms. We're back with another episode of UMRV Upper Mississippi River Valley, and today we are getting ourselves some liquid fertilizer to keep those planters moving. We need to keep the tanks full, and I have finally, I think, figured out how to use this trailer again. It seems to be working pretty well. We emptied what little bit we had in here into the 8RX, and I'm just getting it topped off here. We're gonna get this brought all the way back out to the field. I have been running the different workers here off camera just a little bit. Looks like I'm heading to field 47 to get our planter completely topped off. We didn't have enough to fill him all the way up, so we'll let this guy drive on up there and check in on him in just a minute. Let's go around and check on the rest of the farm here. As you can see, the tillage that we're working on in this field that had the, we'll call it volunteer canola from the previous landowner, is almost done. We're on the last headland pass, and we're going to be able to jump over here and start planting. I don't think we're going to have time to hit this with slurry before we plant, mostly because the slurry spreader over here is still not even quite halfway done with the up-down rows on this field, not to mention all of the headland passes. We get about 4 passes on this field, 2 rounds, before we have to refill the digestate. You can see we're down to 8%. This is going to need to get refilled here actually right now, so I'm going to go ahead and hop out, try to avoid the mess, and we're gonna bring this semi on over here. We'll get the slurry spreader topped off and moving while we're sitting here talking about it. And then, as you can see, we've got the 8RX moving over there. It had run out of the fertilizer. It's actually quite low on I think both fertilizer and seed at this point. He's been moving for quite some time, and my joystick has started acting up here a little bit. My farm stick, it's the hat on top of it that normally controls my camera for me, seems to have gone rogue, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. We'll have to take a look at the configuration at some point here, but in the meantime, we're going to try to just avoid hitting that hat at all and use our mouse to control the camera today. I have to say, in general, I've really enjoyed this joystick. I've been using it since it came out, the Thrustmaster Farm Stick, and I have to say it's worked surprisingly well. It does everything that I want it to do, and so I'm a little bit disappointed, or maybe even afraid that it's having some issues already. Obviously, I play a lot of farm sim, we record a lot of videos, but I haven't put it through that much abuse yet, so I'm hoping it's more of just a typical farm sim glitch with the control schema getting messed up or something, and not a hardware issue. But I will we'll play around with that a bit after the episode, and I'll report back next episode if we're having any problems or if it just magically fixed itself. However, let's keep moving here. We're gonna start this guy right back off onto the nearest waypoint. And then if I hop on over here, you can see we have completely finished up the mowing on this big field here, which is great. We'll have to get all this equipment put away shortly. And this is the next piece of equipment. I'm going to want to move this on over into the other field here because that 8RX is going to need some seed at some point. And then also the 8R is going to need some seed and a fertilizer refill before we get it started on that next big field over yonder where the tillage is happening right now. So we'll just bring this over here. Looks like our fertilizer trailer, our nurse trailer, got up here right about the same time that we're moving this, so everything's all fallen into place. I'm gonna just leave this here, and you can see our 8RX is actually ready for some seed. The fertilizer is still low, but we need some seed first. Let's go ahead and get this guy filled up and moving. Since we've got a bit of a traffic jam here, I'm gonna go ahead and start this guy up. I could hear the engine moving, and it's the semi behind me, not the pickup truck. But since he's in the way, I'm going to go ahead and just run him down here, and we're going to top off the fertilizer in the planter. I'm not a big fan of driving over the already planted crops a ton here. I'm going to run down the grass edge of the field here. And just in case there's anybody else out there like me that has a little bit of trouble figuring out how the controls work on this trailer, sometimes I'm going to bring up the F1 menu here. We're going to hit B to start the pump, and I'm going to bring this right up alongside our tractor there, and you can see I get the overflow option, so we can just start pushing the liquid fertilizer into the 8RX here. Looks like I've topped it off. I'm going to hop over into the 8RX though just to check, and as you can see, it looks like I've got 1,000 gallons, 62% already in there, and my overflow option went away for that, and I'm not seeing another overflow option for the planter here yet, so I'm going to swing around to the other side and just see if I can pick up the fill zone on that. We might have to open up the tanks. I don't remember if the tanks on the planter, the seed tanks, need to be opened in order to fill this, or am I mistaken? Was the fill point for the fertilizers actually that hose on the back of the planter, isn't it? So let me just back in here real quick, see if we can get that overflow option to pop up here for us. I'm not seeing it. I would have expected it to be right there somewhere. I think this planter, unfortunately, is just not quite set up for this. I want to say it's because the fill area for it is a little bit taller. I'm not sure, but luckily we've got the tanks on the 8RX that seem to be working. All those refill areas seem to go all the way down to the ground. It looks like all the stuff is on the left side of the planter there. I'm going to go ahead and open those covers on the back, and we're just going to see if that helps us out at all. I'll fire this back up. Let's back all the way away from it and pull back up alongside just to see if that fixes our problem. I'm still not getting a refill point there. I'm going to pull alongside it one more time just to test this out, be as thorough as we can. But we certainly got the refill options on the 8RX, which worked out for us really well. But yeah, I'm not seeing any options anywhere on the planter itself. So if you're trying to use this nurse trailer and to get that option to fill the planter, it doesn't look like that's gonna happen here. So that's rather unfortunate. I was really hoping that would work out for us. Well, we'll just keep working with tanks themselves and see how this goes. I'm just testing with my R for refill key here to see if I get any options to do it from inside the tractor. Doesn't look like that's gonna happen either. Oh well, it is what it is, folks. At least we've figured out that the trailer itself seems to be working with the tanks. It's the planter that we are having some issues with, and we've been kind of curious about that for a while now, and I just wanted to show off what I've learned. And now we can stop fumbling around. I guess I could push I to dump it out into crates and load into the planter, but honestly, we don't go through that much fertilizer that we need to worry about it right now. And with all that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and run the seed tender out to the planter, and we'll get that going as well. This is one of those situations where I wish I'd remembered that I was bringing the seed tender out, and we could have left the hopper open so that we didn't have to do all of this bouncing back and forth between multiple pieces of equipment. Well, it is what it is. We'll keep this lined up in the hole, actually. And it looks like I have enough to completely top off the hoppers there. I'm excited for that. We're down to 24 bushels of seed, not very much at all. We're going to have to get some more of this before we're done planting, but hopefully this is going to be enough for us to finish this field at least. We got all the headlands done. We got some of the up-down rows. I want to say this 8RX was full on seed when I brought him out to this field, but I can't actually recall if we topped him off or not when we switched fields. Either way, we should be good to go now. Oh, I'm going to stop that. I want to close those hoppers first, and we'll back up a couple of feet because it always leaves a gap. Should be good to go here. Oh, we're not quite done with the headlands. This is the third headland pass right now. Well, that's good. We'll get it done. Keep all of these workers moving and grooving. So the next thing we need to do is get the baler moving and get this guy moving onto the next job. So before I start this guy on the next job, though, I need to copy his course so I can use this course into the baler. So we're going to hit this real quick. And then I'm just going to drive him over here to the edge of the field. We've got some rather tall windrows here that we're having to bounce over. Should be fine. And you know what? We're actually going to need this guy to go out the other entrance by the start of the farm. So I'm going to point him off this way. Where is the tractor that I'm going to use on the baler? I think it's up here, actually. We're going to use the snow blower tractor. We have actually upgraded that mod. Dairy Deer over at Skywalker, is it Skywalker Farms? He's made some pretty major updates to this mod since the first time that I originally downloaded it, and he encouraged me to pick up the updated version. So we've now got a custom 840 loader on it, and a lot more options on the interior. It's looking quite snazzy here. So we're excited to actually put this thing through its paces now. And there's our baler right there too. So this is going to work out great. I can go ahead and I think I'll drop the whole front loader off. No sense keeping it for anything. I'm trying to use my joystick here to do the front loader controls, and it's not actually doing anything. I think my controls have been completely reset for some reason, so we're going to jump over here and just use the mouse, and I'm going to drop this whole thing down, and let's go ahead and see if I can hook up to this baler without any issues. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. I'm hoping this big quick hitch doesn't cause me any problems. My camera's going all over the place with this joystick issue. I do apologize, folks. I've paused for a second to try and resolve it and haven't had any luck yet. So what I'm going to do, I've got this course here. We're going to go ahead and grab a copy of this course, and we're going to hit first waypoint. And I just want to bring it down there and get it faced in the correct direction. Should cause less issues that way. And we can start the baler going, and then we'll go ahead and get that rake moving on its next section. First waypoint should be good to go. And like I said, this should all be grass bales that we're then going to load directly into the harvest store and turn into haylage. So I'm not really too worried about it. We're just doing bales because it's the easiest way for me to pick them up and move them around using hired help without having to deal with all the headaches that come with the forage harvesters, trying to do pickups into wagons and stuff. I know some people have suggested I just bust down and start using loading wagons to do this, because that's really easy to automate. And, you know, I'm getting real close to making the switch there. I just haven't done that because I don't really see those types of wagons in the US much. I've seen a couple of them in kind of a trial mode on a few farms in the Midwest, but never really seen them put to use at any scale. on any farms that I've been on. So if you do live or work, or you're around real life farms and you've seen these loading wagons getting used, I'd love to hear more about that in the comments. Let me know where you're seeing those get used in the US, if at all, because if that is the case, this is one of those things where I'm holding on to the old ways, so to speak. I would love to know about it and mentally make that shift because I think that, at least for Farm Sim, it would really simplify things. Now we're here. I'm going to do the same job we did on the other side. I'm going to generate a course, and man, I feel like 2 headlands is going to be too much for this field. Yeah, I think that we need to go down to just the 1 headland. I think it automatically went down to 1 headland, actually. So we'll do that. I'm going to go ahead and just hit start, and it should jump right into this. Some days I feel like I'm playing Slurry Spreader Refill Simulator. This is the one job that I'm really would like to further automate. I wish I could just park this truck on the edge of the field and it would automatically try and find it and refill from it. That would be a really cool addition to course play, kind of like how it does the automatic unload with a grain cart. I would love an automatic refill from a nearby mobile source of product. I don't know how they do it exactly, but that's what I want. We've got all of these mowers parked here. I'm going to bring these all back up to the farm real quick, just so that we're ready to send the worker over onto this field here shortly. And once I get this all put away, we'll check back in on the other jobs. Now, I'm out here putting the last of these mowers away, and I almost cleared the course play course after this mower, but I want to leave it there because we're going to want to copy that course for sending our rake and our baler down that same course for the bigger field. So we're going to hold on to that. And, ooh, our 9620 is running low on fuel, so we're going to have to take care of that here as well. Let's see, what do we got going on? We're doing great on baling already, dropping off quite a few grass bales. That's going to be awesome. We should get this trailer hooked up and running on the pickup soon so that we can keep this all moving. I want to start making that haylage as soon as possible, so we'll be jumping back over there as soon as I can get up to the truck. We're almost done, it looks like, already with this small field and the rake. And yeah, we are right down to the bottom of the barrel with this tractor and its fuel. So I'm not sure what I want to do with this. Maybe we'll send it back up to the farm to get some fuel real quick. I'll come back to that. What we do need is to get this pickup back up to the farm so that we can start moving those bales around. And I want to run the fertilizer tank up with me. We're going to refill that other planter on the way. So I think what I'm going to do is just bring this up at least to this next field entrance, and we'll bring the planter down here because as I was moving around, I noticed that our tillage is done out in this big field and we're ready to get the planter going. So I'd like to bring that 8R down here and have it get started. And then when the 8RX is done, it can jump over into this other field to my left and start planting over there. So all the pieces are starting to come together right now. Let me think about this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just bring this trailer all the way up to the 8R. We'll bring it back up into the yard with us. If I'm going to have to run back and forth, I don't think I can use this trailer when I don't have a vehicle attached to it, even though in real life I'd probably just park the trailer alongside the field there where it might be used again because it does have that small motor on it and it would be able to refill stuff out in the field without the pickup truck around. Unfortunately, this is Farm Sim and implements can't be used without an attached vehicle. It is what it is. This road is really bumpy and it's kind of pulling my truck all over the place. I suppose it doesn't help that I'm driving 75 miles an hour down a dirt road. I guess that would probably do it. I'd have a bumpy ride, I'm sure, in real life if I was driving this recklessly. So let's go ahead and just pretend that didn't happen. And I'm going to get in here. We're going to turn on our motor. And look at that. I can start filling these front Demco tanks. I was kind of hoping that it was going to work that way. Just like the other planter, I can only get it up to what they hold. These tanks actually hold a little bit more than the ones on the 8RX. But it is what it is. I'm not even going to waste my time trying to get up next to the planter because the planter is the same. And that means that we're not going to be able to fill the rest of that out of the tank at least. I'm sure I could dump these out into crates like I said and do that, but we're not going to waste our time. I want to keep moving forward on all of these jobs, and right now I think the most important job on the farm is to get that haylage to start being created, and that means switching trailers here and getting the hay off of the trailer that's on there right now so that we can go pick up some of those grass bales. I think we've kind of determined that this grassy area here is the unofficial parking spot for this trailer. So let me just see if I can back this in here nice and straight without running into the shed or the fence or any of that stuff. There we go. Should do it. And straight over to where we've got our bale trailer. I want to say I can cut through this big shed. If we can make the corner. There we go. And I guess I didn't put the conditioners back on any of those mowers before we put them away. My bad. I guess we put them there so that they'd be out of the way. So hopefully that's true. And this needs to go straight over to the harvest store. So let me see if I can sneak this big tall bale stack through this door. Oh, looks good. I can't recall if we've actually brought bales through here before. I'm pretty sure I've brought this trailer before. And I know I can just make that turn without running into all this junk around the farm. Part of me wishes I could get rid of some of the stuff around the farm. I guess there is that object hider mod. I've had odd results with that in the past though, so I stopped using it. But that would be a solution to the problem. I see another worker has completed their task. I'm not sure which workers are doing what just now, but work is getting done. That's always a good thing. And if we go here, drop them down. Could have pulled forward just a little bit more to get the 3 stack done. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do that. We're going to go there. I'm going to drop them down. Well, now I've got this trailer emptied. Let's see if I can navigate the yard in such a way. The short answer is no, I cannot navigate the yard. I'm going to try and swing just a little bit wider here. There we go. And I'm going to head right on out to this field behind the farm and see if we can get a load of grass bales. It looks like we've got plenty to choose from. I'm kind of curious. I can't remember just how many bales this trailer holds. I do prefer the semi-trailer for running around in the field and picking up bales typically. However, this one's so much easier to unload into the harvest store. So we're going to start with this trailer. I'm taking it nice and easy on these hills for a change so we don't get whiplashed all around. I never did figure out what causes the flickering in the water. A lot of maps have had that problem for me, as well as some of the mirrors. I think it's something to do with the NVIDIA DLSS that I run, but I'm not positive on that. Alright, I'm seeing just a ton of bales, so the faster I can get up on the top part of this hill where we're not on the slant, I think the faster we can go. I am going to come down here, though. We missed a few down on the lower part of the hill here. We might as well get all of these harder to reach bales while I'm down here and thinking about it. We're going to get them all eventually, right? I'm going to drop this down a couple of gears. Give me some more oomph on the hill here. Don't turn too tight or we roll the whole setup. I've got the bale. Perfect. Looks like our worker has just finished as well, so that means no more grass bales in this field. We'll get what we can. I don't think we'll get them all. There's quite a few here still, but that's not a problem. The more bales, the better. We lost control there, sliding down the hill a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get these farthest bales, and that way we're always just working back up towards the farm rather than having to come all the way back here again. Oh, it's magic. We pulled that bale right out of the baler. Okay, I've got room for 3 more bales, and there just so happens to be 3 more right along the back side here. 1 last bale to go, and we are golden. Well, that's awkward. Pulling that back over. So let me see here. Ideally, I won't have to go through the outside farm gate because I'll just get stuck knowing my driving skills. So I'm going to try and skirt around the front of the semi here. Perfect. And then we're just going to weave our way all the way around the farm. Actually, it might be easier to go out this gate and come back in from the road rather than trying to sneak around that feed tractor that's sitting there. Perfect. All right, let's see about getting better aligned up this time. We're going to come right on in here, and then if I remember right, the magic was to put my back bumper right on the edge of the driveway like so, and then I can bring my bales out, we can drop them off, and do it all again. All right, with bales loaded up here, we can come into our production chain, and we're going to come up to the haylage line item. I'm going to hit activate, and that should start turning all of this grass into silage with a little bit of a penalty there. And then we'll start turning silage and hay into more TMR for us. It's already working. You can see it start to go up here, both of those values. I like it. So let's take this back out to the field. I don't need to go behind the barns like we did last time. I don't know why we bothered doing that. The easy play is to just come right in and out of this entrance, which, again, I don't know why I didn't do this the other way around, why we cut out in front of the trailer like we did. So we'll do it the easy way this time. Sometimes I'm just not paying attention and we make life harder on ourselves. Oh, we got that one on the right. I wasn't expecting that. And I find everything actually works a lot better in Farm Sim if I just slow down a smidge. I have a tendency to always play foot to the pedal to the floor with the steering wheel setup that I've got, and I forget, I can just take my foot off of the pedal just a little bit and slow things down and not crash into things. And then, you know what? Everything works better. We spend less time trying to get things unstuck, less time with jackknife trailers, all that good stuff. All right, that's the last of the bales for this field. Not quite a full trailer, but that's all right. Where are we going? We're going to turn around and go out the easy gate like I just got done saying. We're going to do things with the easy mode here this time. Perfect. And yeah, let's get these dropped off and then we'll go get that other planter moving. I kind of forgot about that while we've been doing all this other stuff. I just wanted to make sure we had enough grass in the harvestor here to start moving forward on our haylage. So if this field is next up, we can probably send this 9RX back up to the farm. I don't think that there's anything left to be done with it here. We're in a pretty good spot. I'm looking around. I mean, we missed some corners and stuff. That's not a big deal. Our planter will plant over that stuff with the direct drill. I just thought it'd look weird having the planter plant through the canola on the whole field. So we decided to do it like this. I think that's fine. We'll send you to farm yard and deal with putting you away a little bit later. And then just checking in on our 8RX, we're almost done with the long rows and moving into really some short rows. I think we're going to have enough seed and fertilizer to finish this field up, just because the rows do get so short. It is going to take a while though, lots of turning around, so we've got 18 minutes left on this guy. That's great. He should be finishing this up right about the time we get everything else moving on the farm here. And you can see across the road there, we're all done with the up-down rows on the slurry spreading. We've started working our way back down the field now, so that should be wrapping up not too long after we're done with this field, which leaves us with getting this 8R out to the field we just finished with the field work in. I am going to need some more seed in this at some point, so we'll get him out on the road, and then I will bring the seed tender down and get him filled up before I think we actually start our course off here. Now that tillage equipment is pretty wide. I'm going to try and stay over here. Hopefully we're out of the way. That was closer than I thought it was going to be, but no bloopers today on collisions between two of my own tractors. Well, at least not yet. We'll see how the rest of the episode goes. Well, I have to say, even at 32 miles an hour, which is clipping pretty good for a tractor, that was a long drive to get out here to this field. I forget sometimes just how big this map is, since we've been playing kind of very close to our farm for the most part up until now. But we've made it out here, and I've got the tanks all opened up on the way there. Hopefully we didn't have any seed blowout. What I need to do is take a short walk down the road. We're going to pick up our semi down here and get the seed refilled. Luckily, it's a beautiful spring day, and that was not nearly as bad of a walk as I thought it would be. Now, can I sneak out here? I can't tell how steep this ditch is. This ditch is too steep for what we're doing, folks. Unfortunate. I should get the landscaping tools out maybe and level a driveway somewhere right here would be perfect in this corner, as long as we stay away from this indestructible sign over here that causes us a little bit of grief in the previous episode. We could have a fairly nice driveway entrance. We'll have to look into that. Maybe I can get that done. I can't recall if you can own the roads in this version of the map. I'm still using a very old version of this map before a lot of the fixes, because I didn't want to have to reset all of my progress. So we're not sure if that's going to work or not. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this auger out on the road here so that I can pull up alongside our planter and fill it up. I don't want to have to risk having the auger run into things when we're unfolding it. There we go. And if I just bring this over, should line up. Oops, I went just a smidge too far. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. Right into the hole. We did it, folks. And we didn't have enough to make a difference, though. Oh, my goodness. Well, let's go ahead and fold this back up. I'm going to spin it around and leave it on the edge of the field here. Hopefully I can get by this guide wire. There we go. Just like so. We're going to pull this tractor out here and get it unfolded. Oh, my steering wheel is causing me problems. And then while that's unfolding, I'm going to see if I can just straighten myself out ever so slightly. I know you really don't want to be moving this thing around while you're unfolding it, but that unfold animation is quite slow. We're going to go ahead and generate a course. The 3 headlands seems to be working pretty good for us. And there we go. I still have the tillage course active there. I'm going to need to go get rid of that at some point. But for right now, I think I should be able to start this off. I've got about 1/3 of a hopper of seed. Not quite as much as I wanted to start off with, but hopefully enough to make a headland pass here. And we will send this guy back up to town to try and get some more seed. Bulk fill, whoops, bulk fill dry. And I think I want to send him the other way. Yeah, I think we're going to send him this way to get there. Nope, can't reach. Well, if I send him this way, he'll figure it out, it looks like. So that's what we'll do. And our 8RX, wow, our 8RX is almost out of seed as well. I thought for sure we'd finish this field no problem, but we're right on the edge. 4 bushels an acre. We've got 13.9 bushels left. We might make it. We might eke this out, but it's going to be close. Meanwhile, it's got to be close to time to fill up our slurry spreader. It looks like there's some small overlap on the up-down rows that we're filling in the middle, and the slurry spreader gets just a little bit farther as it works its way through the field this way. So we haven't had to refill it quite as much, but it's got to be close to empty right now. Given how much of the field it's covered. So I'm going to just bring this up here and get it more or less into position. And we'll jump over here and check on it. Yeah, 5% left. We'll come back to him in a minute. Meanwhile, it's time for us to keep our baling empire moving. There's our slurry spreader getting empty just as we do so, but I think what I want to do is get this baler started over on the other course, and then I can get the rake moving on the next field over, and we'll just kind of keep rinse repeat with these pieces of equipment. I can go pick up some more grass and get the haylage really cooking. I'd love to get that harvestor filled up with grass so that we can not even think about it as we move the time forward. We've got things set up to process the material pretty quickly, and that's been working out for us really well. Generally, the harvestor can keep up with the feed situation for our farm on a day-to-day basis as long as we keep it full of materials. So in order to get the baler going, we have to come down here and grab this course. So is this the copy course button? No, I need to get rid of the temporary course and copy this course. And then I can drive them back to the other end of the field. And we'll switch these guys around. We just got to kind of keep bouncing through the courses since we've only got the one copy. What I should really do in ideal world is just save the courses, like make a good solid course, save them, and then always just reuse the course that I know works rather than generating a course every time. However, the generation seems to be pretty reliable and it works fast now compared to previous versions of Farm Sim, so I haven't had any problems where it's taking too long to generate courses where I bother with the save load interface at all. I have actually found that interface to be a little clunkier than just generating one on the fly, but I know a lot of people that like to save their course play courses. And here we go. I'm going to get rid of the old one. I'm going to paste this one in. I can see my first waypoint up here, so we'll hit start and let him do his thing. And then this guy's going to move up to this last smaller field and do the raking up there. And it'll be all ready for the baler to come in right behind him. Oh, something took out my mailbox. I must have done that at some point. I don't remember coming through there with the mailbox. All right, we've got this guy all set up, or guy or gal all set up and ready to go. So we'll just let them do their thing here. 7.5 minutes or so. And once again, as I've said before, I am always going back and forth and filling the slurry here, it feels like, although now that we're on the fill-in rows, this is going a lot faster, so no major complaints. Again, this piece of equipment, this setup has worked so wonderfully for us. Outside of refilling it, every other piece of this implement vehicle combo has been absolutely stellar, so we'll have to try and expand this in the future year here. I think we're ready for multiple slurry spreaders on the farm. Now I'm down to 2% of my digestate, which I don't think is going to be enough to top off a spreader, but I'm going to go ahead and worry about that probably off camera here. I want to make sure that all the other things on the farm are moving. And right now that means picking up some more seed. And if I remember right, each hopper is a little bit less than filling up the planter one whole time. I'm going to need to fill up both planters at least 2 more times. So I'm going to go ahead and get multiple hoppers of seed here. Let's start this guy off. We're going to back it up. And I think as long as I'm thinking about it, we're going to go ahead and go for a full semi. And we'll see if I have regrets later, but I think we're going to be able to use up a full semi worth of seed. And if we do have any left over, we can just fill the planters back up when we're done for the year, right? So I think that we're going to use a full semi worth of seed on the remaining 2 giant fields. And I know the 8RX is almost out. The 8R didn't get completely filled up. We're going to be good to go here, folks. And I do see I've missed a hopper here. We got to pull back forward to get it. The fill zones on top, the fill triggers for each of these hoppers overlap slightly. So depending on how you line things up, you have to kind of come back through and get the other hopper. I'll back up here, and you just kind of keep hitting the button until you find it. There it is. Doesn't always line up visually, but it does work. Somebody asked me in a previous video here what trailer I'm using for the seed tender here. This is the Conveyall, and it's in the base game. It works really good. If you come on in here and take a look at it, it's under auger wagons, and it's the 3rd one on the list here. Works great. I've really enjoyed using this trailer for our seed and lime to get it in and out of the fields. And I'm just gonna get this guy out on the road, and we'll send him right on out to that new field that we've got the 8R in. Man, I can't remember what the field number is on that. That is field 41. So if we come up here, oh, I don't have a field 41 right now. Interesting. Well, we'll send it to, I'm going to send it to field 24, and then I can just drive down the road with it after we get there. I think that's going to be the best bet, because if I send it to field 48, it's going to go way farther than we need it to and kind of curve around and back down into the field. This is going to work out better, I think. Now, the 8RX has managed to finish with 6 bushels of seed left in the tank. Amazing, sir. Let's get you out of the field and ready to go on this other field that the slurry spreader's still working on. We're getting closer to being done with that field, so I think by the time, whoops, our camera gets under control, by the time we get the planter over there, we get it filled up with seed, and I bring that liquid fertilizer tank back out here to top off my tanks, we'll be good to go. So let's get this down here and set up and ready. In lieu of putting a driveway in down here, I'm wondering if there's an easy way for me to just run across the grass here in front of the co-op here and get out on their driveway. It looks like there might be. I'll be going out on the in-road, but it should work out just fine. Looks like this place is actually closed. The gates are shut there. Interesting. Oh, it's an ethanol facility, not a co-op. My bad. Well, let's just run this guy up the hill here. Oh, the camera control thing is driving me nuts. I do apologize once again. It's just a thing that I'm having to deal with until I can figure out what's causing it. Looks like our 8R is also empty right up here next to the field though, so that's going to be really convenient for us to deal with. Let me think. You know what? As long as we're here, and I'm going to have to do a bunch of refilling, let me bring this out and we'll park it in this field, and that way I can bring the equipment out and we'll handle refilling both of these at the same time. So I'm going to park that guy there. I'm going to go ahead and open the tanks on this one. And we're gonna hop up here to the farm, pick up this truck, fill up the fuel as long as I'm next to the fuel barrel, and we will take this liquid fertilizer back down to the other end of the field with us while we wait for the semi to get back from town with our seed. This is the least official way to hook this trailer up. Oh, come on, I'm lined up. Just because didn't back straight in, it won't register. It is what it is. And off to the field we go. I'm going to try and set up an auto drive course into that field as well, just to give us a destination to pick from, rather than having to drive it down there manually all the time. Looks like our semi got up to this field, so we'll be able to pick up the seed as soon as we're done filling up the liquid fertilizer. Here we are, so let me just see if I can find a good spot to start this from. We'll start from right here and record. We do something like that. And then what I think I want to do is, I can't remember, is it right click the record button? I can do the two-way course up to the edge of the field here. We're going to drive it all the way into the field. Stop recording. Create a new one. Wait, which field is this? This is field 41. Perfect. And then, just so I don't forget, let's go ahead and create the entrances the other way, like so. And then I think this one as well, we might as well have them all. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't realize that I could see the auto drive network on the mini map when I'm in edit mode. I don't think I've ever done that before. That looks really cool. I wish I knew the difference between the green and the blue. Either way, that's really neat. We'll have to learn some more about that at some point. But for now, we need to get this sprayer trailer moving and sneak ourselves in here. Top off the 8RX. Ooh, that's a thirsty 8RX. And then we'll put the rest in the 8R as long as we're all set up and ready to go. Hopefully now this 8R is not going to need a ton because we just filled it up. But we've got 200 gallons. We might as well put what we've got in there. Oh, it took all 200 gallons. Well, what do you know? Looks good. Works for me. We'll park this guy right over here out of the way. We might need to send him up to town to get more at some point. But for now, let me get the 8RX out of the way. Oh, we still need seed. I almost forgot. We might as well try out our new auto drive course. So I'm going to get up here onto the road at least, and then we'll hit go and see how it does. Looks like it's finding the destination, so this should work out good for us. Meanwhile, I'm going to include at least this little clip. We're loading slurry once again, but if I keep this thing moving, we should be done with this field and not too much longer. And I do want to get done with this. I want to get that 8RX started over here ASAP. All right, I've dropped the last of the digestate that we had off into the slurry spreader. It turns out I didn't have enough to fill it up. So let me go ahead and just start this worker off again. We only got 28%. I really should have sent this semi back up to the farm to refill, apparently. So we'll do that now. And it looks like our seed tender just arrived, so this will be perfect. I can get this guy out of the driveway here and off to the BGA. And then we'll deal with our seed all at the same time. And it looks like our slurry spreader will probably just end up going idle here in a minute because it's not going to take very long to spread a quarter of a tank. All right, off to the farm he goes. And let's see about filling ourselves some seed. So I think I'll start from the front of the semi and work our way back. There it is. Should be lined up. Oh, perfect. I love when I get it lined up just right. All right, hopper looks full. Let's move on to the next planter here, which I think is also empty. I'm going to swing all the way around and see if I can come up in between the planter and the nurse trailer here. There should be just enough room. Easier than moving the tractors around at this point. Oh, I think I overshot just a bit. There we go. Missed by a couple inches. That's all right. We'll finish out that hopper. We'll go to the next hopper. Keep it moving. And there we go. We've got 2 full planters. We'll fold this back up. I'm just going to leave this semi right here alongside the field because we are going to need to refill this planter again. And then we might as well hop in here and tell him to get going. I'm going to back up a few feet because the planter always misses a bit. We're going to remember to close our hoppers. I always forget that bit. And then tell him to get started. While that's unfolding, I think I can be just fast enough to get this 8RX out of the way, especially because it's already on. We're going to we're going to close our covers. And I'm just going to bring him right on over into this other field because that's where he's going to be starting out as soon as we get some more slurry out here and finish up all of this slurry spreading. Let's see. We've got a nice wide grass area over here. I'm just going to park him right here and we should be good to go for the time being. And then back up at the farm here, it looks like our semi got lost a little bit in the yard there. That's all right. I'm going to spin him right around here and bring him alongside this refill point. That should do it. This thing fills quickly, but it's such a big semi-trailer that it's going to take a minute for us to top this off. So I'm just going to let that keep going here. And you know what? I think this is going to be a great place to wrap up today's episode. We've gotten the bulk of our spring field work done now. I've got a lot of hay work to get caught up on. We've been kind of ignoring that off and on this episode, and we will get started on this last field of planting next episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you have, hit that like button. It helps me out a lot. That's all for today. Kedrick out.